The year was 2437, and humanity had long since spread across the stars, establishing colonies on countless worlds. Earth, now part of the Federation, was a powerful and expanding force, but still seen as a fledgling species compared to the ancient alien civilizations that inhabited the galaxy. While humanity was gaining respect, the road was far from smooth, and many still viewed humans as a curiosity rather than true equals. Captain Darian Cole, a seasoned freighter pilot, was no stranger to this hierarchy. He had made his way across star systems, hauling goods and navigating the complex trade routes of the galaxy. But his most recent job, a simple delivery to a distant outpost on Rethan 9, would change everything. He had received a mysterious offer from an alien merchant named Jator, a deal that seemed too good to pass up. Jator, a reptilian trader, had something Darian couldn't resist: precious metals that could pay off most of Darian's debts. But there was a catch. The payment wasn't in credits. Instead, Jator offered something else: an alien being. Her name is Lira, Jator had said. She's valuable, not just for what she represents, but for who she is. A princess, if you will. I'm sure you'll find her useful. Darian, though hesitant, was intrigued. Slavery, while illegal in most of the Federation, still existed in the farthest corners of the galaxy. He had heard rumors of such practices, but never directly encountered them. Still, he figured this would just be another strange part of his travels. A payment of this sort, he figured, could easily be sold or traded for something more useful. When Darian finally laid eyes on Lira, he was struck by her beauty and the undeniable grace with which she carried herself. She was an alien of delicate features, lavender skin adorned with glowing silver markings that shone softly under the artificial lights of the trade station. She was restrained, bound by energy shackles that glimmered faintly, yet she seemed far more composed than anyone who would expect from someone in such a position. The crew had loaded her aboard the Antares, Darian's freighter, and as the ship set its course for the next destination, Darian couldn't shake the curiosity about her. In the quiet of the cargo hold, he approached Lira, who sat alone, her gaze distant. "Why are you here?" he asked, his voice gentle but blunt. "You don't look like someone who should be in chains." Lira looked up, her silver eyes locking with his. Her expression was sad, but there was a sharp intelligence there, an understanding that surprised him. "You wouldn't understand," she replied in perfect galactic standard. "I am not here because I deserve it. I was betrayed by those I trusted most." Darian furrowed his brow. "Betrayed?" Lira nodded slowly. "I am the Princess of Andromeda. My family betrayed me, my brother, my own blood. They exiled me, sold me as a slave, just to secure their hold on the throne." Darian's heart skipped a beat. The Princess of Andromeda? He had heard of the ancient empire, the power it wielded in the galaxy, but never in his wildest dreams did he think he'd meet someone of such significance. A princess reduced to a slave? It seemed impossible. What happened? Darian pressed, unable to hide his disbelief. "After the death of my father, I was set to inherit the throne. But my brother, hungry for power, conspired against me. He aligned himself with our enemies, and when I refused to give up my claim, he sold me to the highest bidder. I have been a prisoner ever since." Darian was silent for a moment, trying to absorb the enormity of her words. The gravity of the situation was overwhelming. He had no idea that the person he was now transporting was not just a slave, but a key figure in the galaxy's power struggles. Days passed, and Darian found himself drawn to Lyra's intelligence and strength. Despite her circumstances, she remained dignified. She spoke of her homeworld with a passion and a longing, telling him about the grandeur of the Andromeda Empire, the vastness of its stars and planets, and the betrayal that had shattered her life. The more Darian listened, the more he realized that Lira was not just a victim. She was a leader, someone who could restore balance to her fractured empire. The idea of helping her, of righting the wrongs that had been done to her, began to form in Darian's mind. One quiet evening, as they sat together in the cockpit, staring out at the stars, Darian made a decision. "I'll help you," he said, his voice steady. "I'll get you back to Andromeda, and we'll reclaim your throne." Lyra's eyes widened in disbelief. "You would do this for me?" Darian nodded firmly. "I won't let you live as a slave. No one deserves that. And the galaxy needs you. You're not just a princess. You're a leader." Lyra's face softened, and for the first time since he had met her, Darian saw a flicker of hope in her eyes. She reached out, placing her hand on his. "Thank you," she whispered. "But be warned, my brother will not let me return easily. The power he has gained is immense." Darian didn't flinch. "We'll take him down. Together." And so began their alliance. A human captain and an alien princess, bound by fate and a shared sense of justice. Darian's freighter Antares became a symbol of rebellion as they moved through the galaxy, gathering supporters and allies who shared their vision of overthrowing the corrupt rulers of Andromeda. They battled through political intrigue, covert operations, and dangerous enemies. Each victory brought them closer to the heart of the Andromeda Empire, where the final confrontation awaited. Lyra's brother, now a tyrant in control of the throne, would stop at nothing to maintain his grip on power. In the final battle, a fierce clash erupted above the ancient capital of Andromeda. The fleet of rebels, led by Darian and Lira, faced off against the Imperial forces. Explosions rocked the skies as the two forces collided. But it was Lira who led the charge, her strategic brilliance guiding their forces to victory. The tyrant was overthrown, and the rightful princess was restored to the throne. As Lira took her place as ruler of Andromeda, she turned to Darian with a deep sense of gratitude. "You gave me back my life," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "I only gave you what you already had," Darian replied, his eyes meeting hers. "Your strength, your resilience, those were yours all along." Together, they forged a new future for Andromeda and for the galaxy, one where justice and equality reigned. And though the journey had been long and filled with hardship, it had proven one undeniable truth. No matter the circumstances, no one's worth could ever be measured by their past.